Joe Louis Drive, an address, a gym by the name of the Doghouse, has become synonymous with toughness, hard work, conditioning, mentoring, and the elevated standard of basketball expectations. From Torian Prince, Marcus King, Ty Dillard, and many more that have excelled, all in the sweatbox known as the Doghouse. John Collins, commonly referred to as JC, is known for demanding and setting high expectations of effort, discipline, and being a tough coach. Kevin Howell, commonly referred to as Country, the nice guy in the gym. Angel Benavides, the tactician of the trio. In these three men, you have a philosophical intertwining to bring the best instruction, culture of competition, and future leaders with the youth in San Antonio. Joe Louis Drive isn't for everyone, and that's okay. We're not fancy, but get results. If you endure the sessions and keep coming back for more, you will grow athletically and see personal growth. JC, Country, and Angel's leadership styles are based on knowing the game can provide opportunities that can change lives. We are demanding and devoted to changing lives through the game of basketball. 6712 Joe Louis Drive. You will know that you are in the right place when you hear the dogs barking. All right, so this is Kevin Howell. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Kevin Howell, your host of the One-Eyed Scout. Real pleased to have our guest here today, Martin Cardenas, a friend of mine, coaches at Edison High School, and he's going to share some of his background, his stories, and what he's doing with his players. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Coach Cardenas. Been here since 2016. So this is going into my ninth year here at Edison High School.
You know, we actually came to the school almost at the same time. And one of the things that I've learned from you is that you were part of a historic time in San Antonio. You were part of the Lanier program that went to back-to-back Final Fours. Can you share a little bit about that experience and what it meant to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that is still spoken about to this day. Believe it or not, it's been a while since that's happened. But it was a while since it happened when we first did it. Lanier was very successful back in the day, back in the 40s, actually winning the state championship multiple times. Right, I remember like as it was yesterday, right before the season started, we knew what we wanted to do. We just didn't know what it took, nor what we were getting ourselves into. We just wanted to make sure that we ended up being at the state tournament. Half of us didn't even know what the state tournament was, to be honest, man. We just wanted to make sure that we were just playing and playing against the best competition ever, because we knew we were good, we just didn't realize how good we were.
That's cool. You know, when you look back at a hot time in the city, the Spurs won their first championship in '99. They competed, and they won it again in 2002, 2003 against, at that time, the New Jersey Nets. Do you feel like that time period, that time frame when the Spurs were at their highest, did it trickle down to you guys at all?
I'm sure to a point it did, but at the same time, it's something that we didn't worry about. Yeah, we supported the Spurs. The Spurs are, the team here in San Antonio. We don't have any other professional sports here, so San Antonio Spurs is the team for everyone. But at the same time, we're worried about other things. Growing up where we grew up, west side of San Antonio, it's just other things take priority than realizing or following the Spurs and what they're doing. But so our basketball was our safe haven, something comparable to what the Spurs were doing.
Yeah, and I've traveled over there a few times with you to the Lanier basketball center. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the alumni.
The alumni center, and that's cool to really look back and think y'all's success helped bring about that building?
Yeah, yeah. Totally different what we practiced from. we had 2 feet from the baseline to the wall on both ends. One end, the sideline was 2 feet from the sideline, the wall was, and the other sideline we had like 5 or 6 feet from the sideline to the wall. So it was just a box with the court in the middle. So yeah, compared to what they have now, it's just totally different.
Your personal college choice. I know that you played both college football and college basketball. What do you think kind of went into your processes, and how did you end up in Oklahoma?
It's a long story. Going back and forth from different schools. It just being guided but not guided at the same time. Just learning as the process goes. It would have been great to have someone not telling me what to do, but just guided me. I had a very supportive system that just wanted the best for me, which at that time thought it was enough.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just more looking out for me personally, not for athletic purposes, I guess I could say. So if I had someone like that, someone like something to what you're doing, it's giving me different options. If I take this route, understand that this is going to happen. If I go this route, understand this is going to happen. So my situation, I was just going and rolling with the punches, I guess you could say. While I thought I was going to go somewhere else, that opportunity just fell through just because I didn't put my part that I knew that I was supposed to do. I just assumed I was going to go there. I didn't know the process of a lot of things. So I started off over here in West Texas and ended up in Oklahoma. The guidance, like I said, I had a lot of mentors, but like I said, it wasn't athletically. It was just more what's best for you as a person academically. Just get that degree.
Yeah, which is common. I mean, it's that's part of why we started our work with Diamonds in the Rough and the One Eye Scout, because like you, a lot of talent, parents, people that wanted the best for you,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't have the knowledge in that area.
Right.
And so, but it turned out well for you.
It did, man. I wouldn't change it. I'll do the same thing over and over because it led me to where I am now. I love where I'm at. I love what I know I could offer to other guys here, and just giving them a personal experience that it could happen no matter your circumstances.
Yeah. What types of things do you feel like that you're doing to help promote skill development in an area where skill development hasn't really been taught to the same effectiveness as it is across other parts of the city?
First and foremost is just understanding the lack of resources that we have here in general and what the kids have been growing up with, and knowing that and going through that myself. It's just, what could I do in the situation, the status that I'm in, to bring to them instead of them going out. And just by me being a student of the game, networking with college coaches, seeing what they're doing, seeing their expectations, just writing that down, coming back, and just instilling in them, look, this is what it takes, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever the case may be. Now it's up to you whether or not you want that type of challenge. And if it is, by all means, I'll be here at whatever time, I'll leave at whatever time. I just need the commitment from y'all. Let me do my homework and getting better knowledge from others that have been there, done that, and just bringing it back to them.
Something that I've always admired, and we won't use the player's name, but you're gonna know right away. You had a young man, very tough home life, that would call you at times single digits in the morning.
Right.
And ask you to open the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And you would. And that young man loved you for it. But what kind of promoted you to make that kind of sacrifice?
Just because at the end of the day, sometimes I realize that basketball is the only thing that they might have from doing something that they're going to regret their whole life, and just having the opportunity to have basketball to create new opportunities for them. And without them knowing, just as a safe haven for them, they just understood it. And for me, I just know the importance of having someone there for you that would do anything what's best for you. So that's the least I could possibly do. It was done to me, so it's totally right for me to pay that forward.
Yeah, you know what's funny? That's the whole reason I got into this.
Yeah.
There was an old man named Tom Bissell that did for me when I'm helping other student athletes out with. Going back to skill development and helping guide, mentor players through the process, such as Andrew Garcia.
Right.
You know, I mean, we worked with him, mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
And what did you learn during that time and journey in our lives? Because we built a network with Coach Hood at UTSA, Coach Smith when he was with Incarnate Word, and we've continued to build those. But what do you feel like that you learned, brought back, and are growing again from that experience?
It just takes a village. It takes a village. That's what I learned. I've heard it before. I thought I understood it, but at the same time, I don't know all the answers to everything. It takes a village just to help mold and grow one particular student athlete that you're talking about. And I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. It took long hours from my end, your end, and just going out and getting advice and support from others. And it put me in a place where understanding that that's what it takes in order just to build one kid, and that one kid's gonna make changes later on. And just for us to realize that in order for that to happen just for one kid, to understand the magnitude, in order to change the whole culture that we're trying to build here, it's just having that network and being open to that.
Yeah, we think back and that opportunity for Andrew. He went to Allen Community College.
Yes.
And I remember the look on his mom's face, his dad's face, when he signed that scholarship. And what comes to me is, we say things are bigger than basketball, but our motto with Diamonds in the Rough is basketball changes lives, right? Because he was able to build through that journey resiliency. You know, we were excited when he went to Allen, but I also remember when he was at Allen at the end of his redshirt year, tore his ACL for the third time, and we had to tell him it was time to hang up the hoops. You know, and that was hard for him.
Right.
But I mean, I think that journey allowed him to build up resiliency to overcome that. You know, and that's been a fun story. And going back to skill development, man, I don't want to gloss over that, because we mentioned being a student of the game.
Right.
But I come to your practices and I watch your ball handling, your skill development, that whole workout thing. And guys are just thinking it's just about a warm-up. I know Buzz Williams is your favorite guy.
Yeah.
But what other coaches have you taken pieces of to create your program or your growth of your program? Because I've seen exponential growth.
Yes, Buzz does a great job of creating culture, and does a great job by not even talking about basketball. So he does a lot of philosophies that transitions into life. A perfect example would be the whole Drew situation of the obstacles that you overcome. So you learn a lot from that, and then you learn a lot of the X's and O's from different coaches. One that I followed with for years now is Nate Oates. How where he's at now. Yes, a lot of people know where he's at, and Alabama is doing wonders there. But they don't know his journey, where he was at Buffalo before that, and before that he was in a smaller school, and before that he was starting where we're starting at. And I met him. He had a speech he spoke here years ago when he wasn't even in the position he is now. But his philosophy, his work ethic, what he expected his guys to do, his standards were the ones that just got me intrigued in his mindset. And there's other coaches, and I think the COVID years did wonders because every coach was available in Zooms. So you'll just hit up a coach and say, Coach, you have a time to meet? Anywhere from coach I had no business speaking with, they were like, sure, because everyone was bored out of their mind, and they were just sharing their drills, sharing different game scenarios that we were able to, I was able to ask questions, and they were just willing to share it. So that was a great point in my career. It's unfortunate times, I understand that, but it was a great opportunity for me to take advantage of the resources that was available. And
making the most out of the time.
Making the most out of the times, because we weren't able to be at school. We were at home, teaching from home, and give a lot of gap time to where it's like, okay, now what do we do with our times? We're not able to do the be with our guys in practice. We were limited in a lot of things. So there was a lot of programs, a lot of opportunities for us to start outsourcing, asking for coaches if they had any time available. I sure did. So that was a great way of just gaining more knowledge, and being a student of the game, seeing what drills they have to bring back to our guys, what they're doing at the collegiate level.
That's good stuff, man. One more thing, and then we'll get out of here. The question is going to be posed. If you could go back to your younger self, what would you tell yourself? But hold that.
Okay.
Because I know that you've looked at that already, and you've decided that the TABC Hoops thing in June is good for you.
Right.
You want your guys to play in GASO tournaments.
Yes.
So you have someone else take them and coach them in those things. I know that you do cultural things around the school with Thanksgiving time and turkey bingo, and that's a great night where you probably give away 60 turkeys. Yeah. Every family gets something on the way out.
Right.
So knowing that piece that you've pushed in those areas, but specifically to a player, what would you change, or what would you tell your younger self?
It's the time you put in your craft. It's ultimately gonna flourish. It's gonna show. Just spending more time in the gym, you think that's enough time, just add more to it. And one way I try to relate to these guys is, now that I'm getting older, there's that generational gap, right? So you gotta make sure you close that somehow and find something that they relate to. And one thing that I was able to relate to them with, and they comprehend, is a relationship. It's just like, I compare basketball to their girlfriend. If they don't give any attention to their girlfriend, if they don't put any time and effort and dedication, what's going to happen to the relationship? And I ask them that question, and I give them time to think about it, and I make them answer it. It's like, what's going to happen? And then slowly but surely, one would say, well, she won't like me anymore, Coach, or she's going to leave me, Coach. She's going to go with someone else that does pay attention to her. And that's a perfect example that I'm able to relate with them. That's your basketball. Your basketball is going to let you know if you've been denying time with it. It just takes a lot of effort and energy to make basketball make sense. So that's how I'm able to break that gap. And if I would tell myself back then, it's treat it as a girlfriend. The more time you give it, the better it's going to treat you.
That's wise words, man. Wise words. Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. And you can follow your team at, what's your Twitter?
We got two. We got, don't mind me if I look, because we got Instagram, and then we got Twitter. And our Instagram, it's at Golden Bears Basketball, and Twitter, it's at Edison_Hoops.
Edison_Hoops.
sir.
All right, and thanks for joining. Remember, at TAN TV, the African American Network, we have a global, we have a local feel and a global reach.